Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Fireside Chat with Waytat. Um, I am recording this very, very late at night. I also literally just finished dinner because my entire brain um, is. How far are we in here? Oh, 35 seconds. My entire brain is screwed up and busted, animal style. So I have a weird meal schedule. Anyways, if you have not listened before, Fireside Chat with Waytat is the show where I, William, the host of Waytat and Waytat Nerd, sit down and talk about some calmer things, kind of relax a little bit, have an episode that doesn't really have any editing to it. That's very off the top of my head. Just something to sit down and relax. Um, might be a good guess. Well, it doesn't really come out at times for it to be a nightcap for the other episodes, but I mean, you could have it be a nightcap for the other episodes. Um, that would certainly drive up my listenership a bit on these. Speaking of which, if you're listening right now, thank you very much. It means the world to have you listening. So with that, we're gonna generate the topic for this week. Oh, also, if you have topic ideas, go ahead and comment them. I'll add them to my wheel. That'd be excellent. Thank you. All right. Let's get this lad a spinning. Let's see. Come on. Something easy for me to talk about. What would you do with $10 million? All right. Well, let's clear that one as I think about it. Um, what would I do with 10 million? I'll tell you the first thing I would do. Well, actually, I don't know. I'm struggling with this. I have a whole plan for if I got a whole lot of money. So first of all, I'm not telling anyone. Only people that are going to find out for a long time are going to be my parents because I live at home, so it's kind of hard to not include them in this. So I would tell them that I had $10 million. Um, then the next thing that I would do is I would wipe out my student debt loans. Um, I'd pay off my car. Um, then probably help pay off my parents' mortgage. I'd probably just pay the rest of that. Um, and then with the rest of that, um, I would hire a lawyer and an accountant. The accountant to make sure that I'd basically hand the accountant that amount of money and be like, "Hey, I need you to make this last for the rest of my life. So make this conservatively last 50 years." Um, and then I'd hire a lawyer because you need to, if you suddenly become very wealthy, a lot of people will try to sue you. And I'm kind of a dick. So that's even more the case for me. So people are going to try to sue you, so it's very important that you protect yourself. Um, so I'd have a lawyer hired to help with the lawsuits that would be coming in. Um, and then I would probably then probably tell my partner, and then um after I told my partner, I don't think I'd tell any of my friends, but I would then buy some land with whatever money I had to just spend freely. I would buy land and pay the money to build a house. Um, and then I would quit my job and start just doing like this kind of thing full time, like doing podcasting, doing YouTube episodes. I'd probably expand it a lot more. And then I would just kind of live off of that 10 mil for the rest of my life, and kind of just use that to like make investments and stuff. Um, yeah, I mean it's not super exciting, um, because I'm not. I don't want to say I'm not an exciting person. There's some people in my life, like my partner, that think I'm very exciting. But I'm not the kind of person to be like, oh yeah, when I get $10 million, I'm gonna spend every night in the strip club. I'm gonna, you know, blow 2 mil a year and then end up in a worse position than I was to start off with. Um, and like fuck the consequences type of thing. I'm not really that kind of person. I think I am. I really don't want to like work an actual job anymore. I would like to do content creation full time. Um, just yeah, I don't really have the time right now to like super dedicate myself to making sure, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that my content is top tier. And it's already like as good as I can make it with the time that I have available. Um, and with the kind of like mental state that I'm in. But yeah, I think if I just got $10 million out of nowhere, I would for sure be a lot better uh like, I mean, I guess this kind of stuff. I'd be a lot better with getting stuff out on time. I'd be able to dedicate more time to it. I'd actually have weekends, which would be really nice. I would also probably have pretty short work days, honestly, because I don't like. I need a good amount of time for all the stuff that I do. But right now I'm dedicating about 3 hours a day, 2 to 3 hours a day, um, on research and scripting, and then I do recording. And then on weekends or days I have off, I'm usually working on it like 5, 6 hours. So even if I cut it down to like, doing 3 or 4 8-hour days, um, then I'd be getting episodes out a lot quicker than I am now. Um, yeah, I think also probably if I could afford to with that $10 million, I think I would also start looking to start a company. Um, because I really want to make like miniatures and do like war games and role playing games, like I've talked about in a previous episode. Um, and so I think it would be really cool to be able to do that in professional capacity, and then also on top of that, be able to help out other artists by hiring them and actually treating my artists fairly, and giving them, um, I guess, like giving them fair opportunities to get into the industry and to find work and get into a stable position. Um, I guess that'd be the that's not even really like a frivolous thing. It's just more out there. I think that would be the most out there thing that I would do with my money. Um, because I'm not. Yeah, again, I don't really have like any crazy things I'd spend money on. I mean, my house would be a bit crazy because I have a dream house in mind. Um, like a big, well, not even really like a big foyer. It's like a little foyer room that has like a door to the dining room and the kitchen. On one side has a doorway to like the whole back area, like the entertaining area, and then another doorway over to like a library wing. So I have a lot of books. Like a lot of other people who are nerds with some ADHD, I have a lot of unread books. So I'd be reading a lot of books. Um, yeah, I do actually think I would have time for books if I had 10 mil because I get bored with video games really easily, and I have a lot of books I want to read. So I'd probably fall in love with books again. Um, yeah, so I mean, like, having that dining room wing of like dining room with the attached kitchen, where the kitchen has like a room off to the side for storage, and then also having like a bar counter um attached, and having the dining room be big enough to like host uh like family and friends and like extended large groups. Um, having a little garden off the storage area and like a herb drying area and stuff like that. Um, I think the back is where I'd have like a living room, like a big TV, probably some gaming consoles. Um, Also just like because I'm also a very cozy person. I think I'd probably want to build a couch pit. And then also have a home gym because uh I enjoy working out. It's been a lot harder for me recently just because of like the weather and the sun being out less. It's hard for me to get up and get going in the morning, and it's harder for me to stay at the gym. Um, so just having something like that at home would be very nice. Um, I think that area would also be like, just kind of like a lounge area into a backyard. Um, and I would have that library wing would be a library, and then a huge just game room for all like my nerdy tabletop games and war games and like all the board games and stuff. And I think that would be really nice. And then I'd also want to have an upstairs that's like two separate wings, like a guest wing on one side and then like the private wing on the other side. I'd want to like set up like my like actually get myself like a Wicca shrine. That'd be really nice. Um, yeah, I mean just like stuff like that. I think would be really cool. Um, and that I think is probably where a lot of the money would go. Because I would also like I because again I want to make sure that I can live off the money for as long as possible. So I would be having like investment stuff, and trying to uh stretch the money in that way. But I also kind of a luxury person, so I'd be spending a lot of money up front. Um, but yeah, I mean I've also had these thoughts before, and I think even with $5 million, um, I could do close to something like that. I think 10 million is really when it starts to get to the point of like, okay, I can just, I mean, lying a better term, I can just like flop my cock on the table and just build whatever I want, and then live in this self-sustaining, out in the middle of nowhere like garden estate. uh, it's like this big acreage of wild land that's technically mine that I just have like fenced off and be like, hey, this whatever comes in here is safe, type of thing. And just I mean having land like that and like a house like that, that's like, and then also this being a career, that's really like my life goals at this point. Um, Weirdly enough, because of the times we live in, this being my career, I think is the most reasonable of those three. Uh, which is sad and scary to think about. Um, but I mean, also, I don't know. I feel like I mean, obviously, like any amount of millions of dollars is a whole lot, but I feel like asking the question with like any other amount, any lesser amount of millions of dollars makes it a lot harder. Because like $1 million is a lot of money. There's no way that I could survive the rest of my life off of $1 million just because of how much everything costs now. I hope that doesn't sound out of touch. It's a mixture of things for me because I don't really have a spending problem. I never like go over budget or anything, but I spend within the money I have, kind of regardless of how much money I have. So if I have a lot of money, I become a high spender, like a big roller. Um, if I don't have very much money, I don't spend very much money. Yeah, that kind of thing. Um, so $1 million would be the point where it's like still feasible for me to spend too much money at one time and just buy frivolous garbage that I don't really need or don't super care about. Um, but yeah, having less than that makes it a lot easier. What less than having more than that makes it a lot harder on myself to overspend because I also have like limits of the stuff that I want, and once I like hit those limits, I'm not interested in spending money anymore. Um, so that's kind of the yeah, I mean that's kind of the deal with that. Uh, trying to think of like what's just some of the stupid shit that I would want to buy. It's less stupid. I would want to buy a 3D printer because I have a 3D printer at home now, but I mean, it'd be nice to have one like in the gaming room. I think also speaking of the gaming room, that's where a lot of my money would get blown because I'd want to build a custom uh gaming table, like the screen in the table and like basically like player pods, so like little battle stations for the players to be at. I think that would be a lot of fun to build, like to actually put together and then put somewhere. Um, I think also a good amount of my money would probably get blown on yeah, probably just like video games, more books that I would take forever to read. Um, I yeah, I don't know. Because funnily enough, this is actually something that's come up in conversations with myself and my partner, and like it's something that we've realized we're very similar about. If either one of us got a huge amount of money, like there's no way that there's no way that we would tell anyone, and then also like there's no way that we'd be living outside of our means. Um, I mean, it's very nice to know that like there's that similarity. Um, sorry, that's a new thing, so I'm gonna. It's difficult not to go off on tangents all the time because they are awesome and amazing, and I'm not going to dox them any further with any other details besides they're amazing and they would not spend $10 million in the blink of an eye. Um, so I'm really narrowing it down. Um, but actually, I guess I'll do a thought experiment on like my friends when they would find out. So you guys are I mean, all of my a good number of my friends are like other content creators. Um, and they're also small or like they haven't started yet. Um, one of them, I trust them like a lot with information, and uh, I also like kind of like cold bastard kind of thought process. Like they can't really afford a lawyer, and also they're not a dickbag. So like they wouldn't try to sue me, and like I want to help them out. Like they would probably be one of the first people to know. After my parents and partner, they'd probably be one of the first people I told. Um, and then my other friends, I've referenced this friend a few times. I wish I knew their name so I could. Well, I wish I knew the name that they go by online so I could shout them out properly. Um, but she's actually now going into being an OnlyFans model. Again, I would shout her out if I knew what she goes by. Uh, but I mean, so she would probably find out pretty fast too, and I think she'd probably find out because that would just be like one of the things I share when we talk. Because we also don't get to talk a whole lot because as of right now, she is extremely busy and I'm extremely busy. So there'd be no way for us to like we basically like me telling her would not be a long time thing of like, oh, I can't tell her because she'll sue the shit out of me. It would be like I haven't told her because I haven't seen her in 8 months type of deal. Um, then rest of my friend group. So some of them, so two of them are content creators. Uh, so one of them would be. I mean, he's also a very small creator. He's on about the same level as me right now. Dude Diamond. Um, he. I don't know how long. I mean, because obviously there's no way to keep this group in the dark. When I've quit my job, I'm doing podcasting full time, and I have a fucking mansion out in the middle of the woods. It's kind of hard to be like, oh yeah, yeah, no, my podcast is just working with a dozen listeners. So also, I'm very proud of that number, by the way. Thank you guys very much for actually tuning in and listening. That's awesome. But he'd probably find out at that point. Because again, I don't think that he would try to sue me or anything. But you never know with friends. I know for a fact, um, the first two that I listed wouldn't. And that's a good amount of that is because they couldn't afford a lawyer. Um, have again cold, calculated bastard point of view. But I also like I've been through a lot of shit with them, and I know them well enough to know no matter how far I push and how far they push that we would not end up in the situation where we're throwing lawsuits at each other. Um, Also, because my friend that's doing OnlyFans, she, uh, she'll she'll settle shit herself. She doesn't trust the legal system. She'll fuck you up. So, um, yeah. Then let's see. So Jamzam 90, uh, another another content creator, who's my friend IRL. Uh, Actually, I kind of want to check on how his channel is doing right now. I'm gonna detour for a second as I check his channel. I'll still be talking. Um. Anyways. Um. So. Oh. All right. Well, he hasn't uploaded in 7 years. He still wants to. As far as I know, he still does some content creation stuff. But anyways, um, yeah, that kind of sucks. I should talk him into going back into content creation. Anyways, but like, he'd also probably find out at the same time that Dude Diamond would find out. Um, um. Anyways, was I? Oh, and then the other one of my friends I think would find out is he's not a content creator, but again, probably around the same time. Um, just just because he's not a dumbass. He would figure out pretty quickly of like, oh yeah, yeah. No wonder you quit your job. Um, so I mean, yeah, I think that's yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think that's basically basically it. Just because like, man, I don't know. I don't know. I would not be a very exciting rich person. So Uh, yeah. Thank you for tuning in. I am just now looking at how much time I've spent. I feel like I gotta rush because it is close to um close to my half hour limit. So thank you for listening again. Remember to uh comment episode ideas. Just, I mean, comment in general. Like the video, share it, subscribe. Also, again, make sure to check out my podcasts. And also, if any of the names I mentioned in this, check their stuff out. I know Jam Zam has not done uh, videos for a while, but yeah, like, still, I think it'd be cool to get his channel some views again. I think also, I mean, because Dude Diamond is uh really really working um on uh on doing content creation as well. Um and oh yeah, on YouTube he is Dude Diamond 2503. Um he's also working on doing some content creation. So make sure to check him out too. Um yeah, and don't I don't expect you to find anyone else. Um so yeah, thank you for listening. Have a good night. Bye.